Democratic and presidential contests in recent years. So in a few seconds, those states will be closing their polls and presumably we'll be able to see what's going on and make perhaps a major projection at that point. This is a moment that a lot of people have been waiting for. This is a moment that potentially could be rather historic. And CNN can now project that Barack Obama, 47 years old, will become the president-elect of the United States. We project he now has enough electoral votes, more than 270, more than enough to become the 44th president of the United States. This little-known U.S. senator only a few years ago, seemingly coming out of nowhere, delivering the Democratic Convention keynote address back at the convention in 2004, all of a sudden taking off, becoming a United States Senator from Illinois, and now he will be the first African-American president of the United States. This is a moment so many people have been waiting for, and they're really excited, especially in Chicago. Let's listen in for a moment.
So during all this is on the screen on if he is the new face of America, they are two. He represents the general amount of the candidates. I'm not sure if you're aware the world is
There you see the crowds. They are exhilarated right now, some 232 years after the Declaration of Independence. An African-American, a black man, has been elected president of the United States. He will become the president-elect, and he will be inaugurated and sworn in on January 20th of next year. The hard work will really begin at this moment, but this is a moment right now that so many millions of people in the United States can celebrate, because Barack Obama will become the 44th president of the United States. Anderson?
Roland Martin, as you watch these pictures, as you think about this moment, your thoughts?
Obama's going to be sworn in on January 20th, 2009. 2009 will mark the 100th anniversary of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Obama got his start in politics in Springfield, Illinois. It was a race riot in Springfield, Illinois that led to the creation of the NAACP.
Bill Bennett?
I think I said everything I want to say. I'll pray for him, pray for the country. Congratulations. It's a great country. It's a great country, and I hope he's a great president.
David?
Yeah, Anderson, I went back to look at the last speech that Martin Luther King gave back in 1968. It was the day before he died, but he was assassinated. And he said, I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. And it seems to me for an awful lot of people in this country, especially for African Americans, and Barack Obama said he's part of the Joshua generation, and Martin Luther King was our Moses, that we're much closer to that now. We haven't ended our prejudice, but there's something about this evening and this election that I think has made for an awful lot of people feel, you know, this is the Joshua generation. We can reach something we never thought we could reach 40, 50 years ago.
Well, I went and looked back at the Constitution, and the first sentence talks of our desire to form a more perfect union. We haven't done that, but we're still striving, and I think only the least gracious among us, no matter what your political philosophy, only the least gracious wouldn't say that this is a watershed moment for America.
Jeff?
You know, last year I was lucky enough to go to Madrid with my family, and I went to the palace where the king always receives the President of the United States. It's one of these amazing European palaces. And I thought, what if Barack Obama is the symbol who walks through? What if he is the representative to the world of the United States? That is going to be such a transformational experience in terms of how the world sees us, that I don't know if we can really figure it out, what it means at this point.
You know, African-American parents for years, when their children said, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a politician, I want to be an astronaut, they always said, they could always point to an African-American who's achieved it. But whenever a kid said, I want to be president, I literally saw black parents say, son or daughter, you may think it needs something else. I have 9 nieces and 4 nephews. And when I talk to them, I can actually say that and mean it.
Bingo. That's it.
On the right-hand side of your screen, the images from Kenya, celebration there. We've been showing you images from around the world. Soledad O'Brien also watching the reaction here. Soledad, your thoughts?
When we were doing our documentary, Black in America, it was amazing to have people think about the promise that a Barack Obama election could bring. People didn't even want to speak about it specifically in case it were not to happen. African Americans, of course. There are so many issues in Black America, some of which we looked at, and his election will not solve those issues overnight, but what a symbol it sends, as Jeff said, outside this nation and then inside this nation. The promise of how great America can be to all Americans, all of us, with the election, with the step forward of this one man. I think African Americans see this as such a historic and important moment. It's an incredible night.
Well, Martin, as you look at these pictures, you're an Obama supporter. Do you wish you were there tonight?
No, because I think about Vernon Jarrett. I think about Frederick Douglass. I think about Ida B. Wells Barnett. These were some of the most historic black journalists. Their job was to chronicle history as it evolved. And to be able to sit here and look at that wall, to be able to watch this whole night transpire, this is what God destined for me to do, to be a journalist. And this is the place where I would want to be because it's history. And to be able to chronicle it, to be able to talk about it, there is nothing that can replace it. And whenever I listen to my, again, peers and mentors, and they talked about when Joe Louis beat Max Mellon, when they talked about Jackie Robinson breaking the Major League color barrier, when they talked about the I Have a Dream speech, they were there. They talked about it from the historical standpoint. In 30 years, I'll be 40 years old next Friday. In 30 years, I can have that very same conversation. So there's no place I would rather be than on this set, on this night.
Tara Wall, as you sit here watching this, want to get the whole back panel's reaction. Your thoughts?
Well, it is a historic day, certainly. Much congratulations to Barack Obama. I think that certainly for African Americans, history has been made. Whether you agree with him ideologically or not, it is significant. And while many blacks are having a very proud moment right now in America, I never thought they would see this. We have to remember as well, he is not just a black president, but the president for all Americans. And whether you're black, white, rich, poor, Republican, Democrat. So we do have to move forward as a country and support this president and see what he does as a president that's going to represent all Americans.
Paul?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Barbara Jordan, one of the great leaders of the civil rights movement. 34 years ago as a congresswoman, she said that when the Constitution was written, it began with "we the people," but it left her out. She thought maybe it was by accident. But in truth, that document enslaved her and it insulted her, counting her as 3/5 of a human being. But she concluded in that speech saying, "My faith in the Constitution is whole, it is total, it is complete." And tonight reminds me of what Scripture said, that faith is the substance of things hoped for. Well, this has been hoped for by a lot of people for a long time, and people have kept faith with the American dream and that Constitution, even when they were left out of it. And this is a wonderful and powerful night for everybody who believes in the Constitution, the American dream. This is a very cynical age. It's kind of a cynical profession that we're in. You cannot look upon these people and look at the history that's made tonight and be a cynic.
James?
Well, I grew up in the segregated South. I didn't go to school with African Americans, although where I grew up was overwhelmingly, and it's just hard to overestimate the significance of this event. It's not just another presidential election, and I'm just looking at these people's faces, and I don't blame them. I certainly never thought obviously later on I did, but as a child, even as a young man, and even sort of middle age, I never thought I'd see this. This is a remarkable thing for this country, and I think it make it a big statement about us as a people. I really do.
Remarkable night, and I think a great night for the country. When you think of the great American presidents, they've been transformational men, transformational forces. Whether it's FDR or John F. Kennedy or Ronald Reagan, they're people who took America into a new frontier. And